Hey, welcome to my channel Canada True North again. My name is Sachin Sandel, and today's video we'll be discussing more about how Canadian citizenship can be applied. In our last video, we discussed the timeline and some tips and tricks regarding Canadian citizenship. And do watch that video if you haven't watched. I'll put in the link on top right. So do watch that video. Today we'll discuss more about what all needs to be done, what all is required in order to apply for Canadian citizenship. Do check this guide. I'll put on the screen as well as in the description before you start your Canadian citizenship application. This tells you what all is required in order to start the citizenship. It is always recommended to have everything with you before starting the citizenship application so that everything can be done at once and it does not linger on. So let's start with the video. As you see on the screen, we just have to search for apply Canadian citizenship, and this is the very first link that opens up that says apply for Canadian citizenship. If I click on it, this is something that I see. So the most important part is to understand that who all can apply. So the very first thing you need to be is a permanent resident. Another thing you need to do is you need to be in the country for at least 3 out of last 5 years. So it is 1095 days. So you don't really have to have these 1095 days at a single stretch. You can go in and out of the country, but at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you complete 1095 days. So that is important. Also have filed their taxes. So in last 3 years, you should have filed your taxes. Pass the citizenship test. So that is something that comes more towards the end of the process, and you have to pass the citizenship test. I will create a video on this as well, how I was able to pass the citizenship test and what all can be done in order to finish and pass the citizenship test easily, and also prove their language skills in English or French. So if I scroll down a bit, what all options do I see? Okay, so if I am applying, there is an option of applying if I am eligible or not. And also a very important thing, we have two options of applying. One is applying online as well as applying on paper. So recently what I have seen in my experience is people who have been applying on paper, it is a lot faster. I have heard people who have received their citizenship within 6 to 7 or 8 months, whereas people who apply online, they usually take at least 1 year. So it is important for that. Also, if you are applying with a child, you have to apply on paper. You do not have the option to apply online for that. And these are the fees for an adult 18 years or older. It's $630, whereas for minors under 18 years it's $100. So we can always see apply online or apply on paper. Also, right now the processing time it shows is 22 months. So usually the processing time that is shown over here is the maximum duration. And though I received my citizenship, I would say within 1 year, because I applied in April and I received in March. So it was within 1 year, so 12 months. So don't get disheartened when you see 22 months. It doesn't usually take that long, but then exceptions are always there. Also, what happens after the citizenship ceremony, you can apply for a passport, you get the rights to vote. And also one more thing that not everyone knows is 1 year of free admission to Canada's natural parks and cultural centers. So it is important that we understand that, okay, these are some of the perks that we get. So let's start and check, find out if you are eligible. So eligibility is something that we will be checking here. Check your eligibility. Let's see. Okay, have you been a permanent resident and physically been in Canada for at least 3 out of 5 years? Yes. In the last 5 years, have you been outside of Canada for more than a total of 730 days? So we'll put in no. You can put in yes, but I don't think that will make you eligible for applying. And have Canadian official advise you to leave Canada, or that you have unfulfilled conditions regarding to your PR status? So no. if you say yes, I don't think you'll be moving forward with the application. And do any of these following apply to you? So if you are serving a term of imprisonment, payroll, or probation, so these are mostly the things that are related to some kind of crimes. So no for this. You may need to have proof that you know English or French. So okay, so some of the examples are results from a third-party language test. So it can be some exam that you gave to enter Canada. For example, I appeared for IELTS and I took that. So that was something that was helpful. Any diploma or certificate that you did over here, that would be helpful. And results from a government-funded language training program. So that is something that can be done. Also, I am 17 years or younger, or 55 and older. So make sure to note that if you are 17 or younger or 55 or older, no proof of language is required. So that is a big relief for a lot of elders who actually come to this country and apply for citizenship and are not really very familiar with the English language. So that is a big relief. They can still apply for it, right? And yeah, so this is something that we can do. And okay, so this is something that I selected. No, I do not really have this. Okay, this is something that I select. I am between 18 to 54 and I have proved that I have knowledge of English or French. In the past 5 years, have you been required to file your personal taxes? Absolutely yes. Did you file your personal taxes? Yes, we did. You probably meet the requirements for citizenship, Canadian citizenship. Perfect. So also then we need to use the physical presence calculator to confirm that we have been in Canada for 1095 days in the past 5 years. And if I open this, this is something that we can use in order to get an estimate. So it is always advised whenever you're leaving the country, you need to have the dates with you, or you can always check your flight tickets on your email, or you can check the stamps on your passport so that you can have the dates. So the first one is when we will start the application. So we do not know that when we'll do it. Let's consider that we are doing it today. So we'll keep it for today's date. Enter the date you became a permanent resident. So we will enter the date, for example, when I landed in Canada as a PR for the first time, or if you became on a later date, you always have the date and you can put that and you can understand, okay, these are the number of dates, number of days, right? Did you have Canadian temporary residence status between this and this? So I would say no, I did not, because this is prior to when I landed. Because one important thing is, if somebody has temporary resident status, be it a visitor, international student, temporary worker, or temporary resident permit holder, so for every 1 day that you spent in those in that duration, it is counted as half, up to a maximum of 1 year. So for example, somebody was in the country and stayed here for 2 years without leaving the country, it will be counted as 1 year. And then after that, after getting the PR, they just need to complete 2 years and then they can apply for citizenship. Did you spend time serving a sentence? Not really. Continue. Did you leave Canada between this and this? So if you have left the country, you can always say yes and put in the details, but I did not. So okay, so this tells us, okay, this is exactly the number of days, 1532. So you can always modify it. If you think, okay, so you have actually entered something wrong, you can modify it. But as we can see over here, we need 1095 days in 5 years immediately before the date of the application. And according to this, I fulfill the criteria. So that is good. See, this is what I was actually telling. Please note that every day of physical presence as a temporary resident or protected person counts as a half day credit, and you cannot be credited for more than 365 days. So this is very important to understand. Somebody who has already spent some time as a temporary resident can count those 365 days and just needs to be in the country for 2 years before applying. So once this is done, we need to print this page, and let's print this and keep it save as PDF. Desktop, save. So after doing the physical presence calculator, let's come back and come to apply for Canadian citizenship. So once we come to this page wherein we see who can apply, we have already calculated the number of days we were in Canada. It says apply, and apply on paper if you're not eligible. So let's see who all are eligible. Do you have a valid email address? Yes, we have it. Are you applying for yourself? Yes, we are. Did you include time spent outside Canada as a crown servant? So no, we were not a servant of the crown in this time. Did you include time spent outside Canada as a family member of the crown servant? So no. Will you apply using a representative? No, we are doing on our own. So this is where we get an option to start the online application. So there are certain terms and conditions. You understand that you have 60 days to complete and submit your application. So it is important to understand this. If you do not do it, we'll permanently delete your account and all associated applications. So okay, understood, and we agree. Continue to create an account. Okay, so I have put in the details and it says that a verification code was sent. Let's check the verification code. Once we verify, okay, so we can put it again. So this is where we can start the citizenship application, create an application. So what kind of application are we doing? We are doing it for adult. What is your family name? We can put in the family name, given name, date of birth, create application. So this is where we start. Okay, so tell us about yourself. In which language would you like to receive the service? Let's do English. We can always select French as well. Do you have any special needs requiring accommodation? No. UCI as shown on your record of landing. Your full name, it is written here. Have you changed your name? No. If you have, please select that. Have you ever used any other name? No. What's your gender? You select your gender, whatever it is. Do you need a change of gender? Change your gender designation for your citizenship application. We'll select no. What's your height? Please put here. Your eye color. Have you corrected your date of birth? No. Do you need to correct your date of birth? No. Okay, so you cannot change your date of birth after you submit your application. Where were you born? City, you can put in anything. Wherever you were born. What's your marital status? What's your home address? So right now I am in Canada, so I can search the Canadian address. Any address. I'm putting in a random address, so please put in your own address. Is the mailing address same? Yes, it is. Primary phone number will be in Canada. Cellular. Phone number, do you have any alternative phone number? You can put that. Is someone helping you? No, I'm not being helped by anyone. Do you want to appoint a representative to communicate and conduct? No, for now. Okay, so one digital citizenship photo is required. So this is what it is asking me, and you need a photo which has the information of the photographer. So somebody who is a photographer, he needs to stamp at the back of it. When was the photo taken? Then we move to residence and taxes. So what were the addresses? So list all addresses inside and outside of Canada during your entire 5-year eligible period. So please put that. Police clearances, that is something that is required. In the past 4 years, were you in the country or territory other than Canada for 183 days or more in a row? So for example, for me, I landed in Canada in 2019. So if I go back like total 4 years, yes, I was in India for more than 183 days. So I had to use a police clearance certificate. But the best thing was I did not leave Canada in that time. So I had used the same police clearance certificate that I had used for my PR, and it was valid. But if you leave Canada, once you enter it, you'll have to get it done again. So income tax, do you have a SIN number? So yes, everyone has it, and we need to put that. And do you currently or have you ever held immigration or citizenship status in a country or territory other than Canada? So yes, in India I was a citizen because of birth, so we need to put that. Have you ever held travel documents or passports during your 5 years eligibility period? So yes, I have a passport of India, so you need to put that. After that, work, school and activities. So all this information needs to be put in. It is very important because everything for the last 5 years needs to be in this. After that, any kind of prohibitions, right? Like if you are serving a term of imprisonment, probation, are you on payroll? So anything, most of the things. Or if you are somebody like me who has just worked and not been in any kind of problem, so most of the things will be no in this. But then if anything applies for you, so please select that. After that, you need to provide your proof of knowledge for English. So these are all the things that are accepted in order to prove your knowledge for English. Could be any language proficiency test, could be your diplomas. If you have studied in Quebec, you can see all these things. If you studied in Manitoba, British Columbia, if you did your schooling in English, if you did your post-graduation in English, all these things are accepted. So you can pause the video for a minute and see what all is accepted, and if you fall under or if you have completed any of these. If not, then please take the tests that we usually take for our English proficiency. After that, physical presence calculator. So this is where we need to see, during the 5 years eligibility period, did you live outside Canada as a crown servant? So it is important, crown servant. So not really, because I think if you have been as a crown servant, that also adds. Crown servants don't include local engagement employees. During the 5 years eligibility period, did you live outside of Canada as a family member? Not really. And we can put in all the dates and everything in this. And then you need to put in your consent that this is something that I am okay with, National Register of Electors and everything. And then you need to put in your documents if you would like to put some. And then you can save it, or then you can move to pay fees. So this is where we will pay our fees based on our application. If you're a single applicant, if you're applying with somebody, if you're applying with a minor, most of the things in minor are done on paper only. You won't be able to do it in this, but then you can always check if something has changed and review and sign. Then you sign it and you submit it. So make sure that all the documents that are required are submitted, and all the information that is asked is submitted. So it is very, very important. So I'll be making more videos. Do like, share and subscribe my channel Canada True North, and stay tuned for more videos like this. Thank you. Take care.